welcome to this special show, Buffett Bets on Paytm, or to be technically right, Berkshire Hathaway Bets on Paytm. This is a landmark deal for not just for India, but the Indian startup ecosystem at large, because it is the first direct investment in any Indian company from legendary investor Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. Why did they choose Paytm? How did the conversations begin? How did Paytm manage to clinch the deal where so many companies didn't make the cut? We asked Paytm founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma all this and more in an extensive interview earlier today. There was also an interesting backstory on how his board member, Mike Schwartz, actually helped introduce him to Todd Combs of Berkshire Hathaway. Todd Combs is an investment manager in Berkshire Hathaway, widely tipped to be the next CIO, and it looks like he played a key role in stitching this deal together. In fact, Todd Combs will also join the board of Paytm, so that's going to be yet another leg up as far as Paytm is concerned. So this show is really about the endorsement coming from a blue-blooded investor like Berkshire Hathaway into India, into the Indian startup ecosystem, and what this is going to mean for the community. Let's kick off the show then with this exclusive interview that we had with Vijay Shekhar Sharma earlier today. He, of course, is a very happy man. He hasn't met Warren Buffett yet, but he says this deal has improved his chances of meeting him and probably clicking a selfie with him sometime in the near future. Here's Vijay Shekhar Sharma talking about the deal dynamics and what it means on ET Now.
I do believe this is an endorsement of Indian entrepreneurs who are building world-class company out of India. Now, not just investors who are strategic in nature, but now the financial investors, blue blood capital is looking up to invest in these companies. So I'm very proud for our country and every fellow entrepreneur here, because this beginning of a new kind of capital to come into the company did not have so much of space in the cap table. So I don't think that we're talking forward rounds yet. SoftBank deal happened at 7 billion post. So that is 7. It was 7 billion. I can very comfortably say it's an handsomely higher than what SoftBank invested at the price.
I just want to understand how you managed to convince Berkshire to invest in Paytm, because they've been very choosy when it comes to the tech space. I mean, I can almost count on one hand the number of deals they would have done in tech. They've even let go of IBM. They only have Apple. They've regretted not investing in the likes of Amazon and Uber in the past. But take us through how this deal originated, from whose side, what was their interest?
I'll give this credit to one of our board members, Mark Schwartz, who's been a tremendous help and an incredible mentor for me and our board, everyone. So he introduced us to Todd Combs of Berkshire, and me and Ravi Arusumali, we went and saw him. We had a lengthy conversation without any document, paper, or a presentation. Freewheeling chat about India, technology, Paytm, competition, different companies, philosophies of life, a lot of conversation, great chat, great conversation, and then followed up by a couple of calls when we shared some data about the company and information, then questions came up which were answered on the call, and we probably then got talking about the deal there happening, the size of investment and the pricing. So I can't really finger point here what is that one thing over other. I can definitely say this, that we feel that we are a truly privileged one and have a most important word that I'd say that we are here with huge amount of responsibility for proving it to our historical all shareholders in this country, and then our new shareholders in Berkshire Hathaway, that we are a worthy team, we are a worthy capable business, and I won't be able to finger point what one over other they chose. I don't know their selection criteria officially.
So Todd Combs, one of Berkshire's key fund managers, is the one who led the conversation from their side. That's what you're saying. Their own statement says Warren Buffett wasn't, part of this transaction. But, did he come up at all during the conversations? Because this is ultimately a Berkshire portfolio company now, Paytm. You have Berkshire on your cap table. That's a huge shot in the arm. So just take us through that. Did he feature at all in any of the conversations?
No, I mean, we could see him in person. I couldn't see him in person, and yes, we didn't talk. As far as I know about is that in Sun Valley, Masa Son and Warren Buffett were talking, and it seems Warren told Masa about Paytm investment. That's the only connection or the word that I know of. And I have not seen him yet in person, so it's one of the, I would say, incredible milestone of my life. It seems that I would be able to achieve now, more probable than before, that I'll see him and have a selfie with him.
Vijay, just want to understand what's in it for Berkshire. If I look at the way Paytm has evolved in the last year or two, it's almost become a digital finance conglomerate. I mean, you started with wallets and now UPI, you're talking about selling insurance, mutual fund, basically becoming the financial advisor for every Indian. And of course, you also have the commerce play through Paytm Mall. So is this combination of technology plus finance plus consumer at scale something that perhaps Berkshire was very interested in, and you're doing all three at scale? Was that the biggest attraction for Berkshire to consider Paytm as an investment?
I think you said it so very well. There was definitely an acknowledgement of the scale of number of consumers that we are serving and how well we picked up the moat on payments and grew ahead of everybody else in terms of payments networks that are there, and huge amount of competition that we keep seeing every alternate month from new players. So I think payment as a customer acquiring mode, and then the scale that we built in merchant and consumer network, and obviously that extending to different kind of financial services and the traction in those services. So maybe these are the factors that you're building a large financial services company led by payments as a moat. And I do agree, this is exactly what Paytm stands for. If somebody has to invest for these criteria, I would say. Beyond that, other things or team and the way the company has executed are certain subtle criteria of different teams. But I think end of the day, Paytm stands for India's financial services opportunity with mobile as a central platform.
Vijay, I also want to understand, you're not giving us the exact valuation, but from what I understand, Berkshire Hathaway will get a 3 to 4% in 197, which is your holding company, at a valuation of $10 to $12 billion. And I think the exact amount is rumored to be 2,500 crore. I don't know if you will give us the amount, but what will this mean for you? Are they going to be closely involved at a strategy level? Will we have people from Berkshire joining the Paytm board? Any details that you can share with us on those lines?
Yeah, I think it's not just an investment of in a context of Berkshire balance sheet. It is a small number, like you said. All these range numbers that we're quoting are small. But I think the truest commitment that we see from their side comes when we quote that they would be Todd himself coming on a board member. So I think that is the most incredible outcome that we are seeing of this investment. Money apart, we always have 3 years money in our bank. I think this money makes sure that
important news point there. So Todd Combs, one of Berkshire's key fund managers, is going to join the board of 197, which is the holding company of Paytm, confirmed by Vijay Shekhar Sharma himself. Vijay, just a quick follow-up question. Is this going to be the first of many more deals that we can expect from Berkshire in the Indian tech space? If you look at India Inc. overall, Berkshire has had a very patchy record. Their JV in the insurance space didn't take off. They have an indirect presence too, the Tegu Tech facility here in Bangalore. But in your conversation with Todd Combs, did you see a lot of interest and enthusiasm as far as the tech and startup space is concerned, especially payments?
Well, I think I saw that excitement of a payment network. I saw that payment and financial services, and I didn't have a larger chance around all kinds of Indian tech industry yet. But now that he's on our board and we'll get to see him more often, I'm sure we can pitch many of those conversations in due course. the keyword, like you were saying, profitable is a wrong misnomer any which ways. I totally believe that profitable neither is valuable nor is the correct benchmark. The truest benchmark of a company is how much amount of cash they generate, the free cash they generate, because you can tweak around to generate more profits, but not free cash flows. And I think that is the philosophy as a company, what 97 has been. I'm sure you know this, that we raised so little money and we generated free cash flow to build Paytm out of our own capital. The first round of Paytm was done when it was valued 600 million, pre 200 million itself was a statement of that we had generated significant amount of free cash from our operations. I think that is a philosophy that both us and Todd and Berkshire would agree, that we're not building a company for profits. We're building a company which generates sort of free cash, which can get invested, can get reused, anything that you can do. So that is the moat that I believe we commonly share between us. As Paytm, I can tell you, we are very, our numbers are public. You can see some of those numbers, and you can see surprisingly how net contributing positive as a company we are, and so on. I think those things are there in the market to see. Open public, we file those numbers every quarter.
When is Todd Combs expected to visit India? Will he be visiting the 197 office in Noida anytime soon?
I remember that we had a board meeting on 16th of August, and I asked him that would he like to come over and so on. So I think that was the time when the deal was not concluded, and I said he could be a special invitee. But then he said that no problem, next time for sure. So I think when we send our board meeting schedule, I'm sure he would come in the year at least 1 or 2 more times.
Right. Hopefully we will get time with both of you whenever he's in India. But really to, last couple of questions, Vijay, what will this mean as far as your overall plans are concerned? Recently, you spoke about your ambition in the mutual fund space. In fact, you even made a presentation at an Amphi event last week where you spoke about, being the biggest bike seller, gold seller on the digital platform in the country today, and how you want to be a financial advisor to every Indian, right from, the lowest strata of society to the top. So what will all this mean in terms of fueling your expansion plans across categories in terms of becoming a digital financial supermarket in that sense?
Well, I think, investor with deep pockets, investor with these incredible amount of learning and capabilities across markets, across different kind of banks and financial institutions, brings the advantage of telling us what should be done, what should not be done, how to take posture and position in the market. And then there are so many large companies that are coming in the world which are fighting for India as a potential market for their business, or financial services as potential new line items. So there is I would say that Berkshire brings us the network of that. Berkshire brings us access to those, and even access which is a sort of advanced access, I could say, to those views of inside audience, that what is being thought about and what is being think, what is the plan we should do. So I think that means a lot to us. I don't think that the amount of money which we are getting, which could have come from as many, would be valued as much as this access and partnership with Berkshire's team and then Todd coming on the board. So the money, even though is not very large, but it is hugely and many times more valuable than a traditional other person's money that could have come in.
Welcome back to this special show, Buffett Bets on Paytm. And one of the reasons why this is a very unusual and a landmark deal is because of Berkshire's Hathaway's track record when it comes to investment in tech companies. There are barely a handful. IBM, Apple, and I think IBM, they exited recently. They have expressed regret in the recent past for not investing in the likes of Amazon and Google, and they also said that they had tried to invest in Uber. So from that perspective, it's remarkable that they chose Paytm out of all the companies to invest in India. And if you look at Berkshire's track record in India itself, Warren Buffett has spoken to ET Now in the past about how India is an incredible country. It has a lot of opportunity, but we haven't seen too much action. There was an insurance joint venture, but it did not go ahead. They have, of course, a presence in manufacturing through the Tegutech facility right here in Bengaluru. But this is the first direct investment from Berkshire Hathaway. So even if it is a minority stake, more than 2,500 crore, it's a huge endorsement in that sense. But what will this mean for Paytm from a financial and operational perspective? Paytm CFO Madhur Deora joins us now to analyze that for us. Madhur, a great name to have on a cap table, Berkshire Hathaway. But what will this mean from a financial and operational perspective as far as Paytm is concerned?
It's a huge honor for us. As Vijay said, we're very humbled, very excited that they would back us. As people who follow Berkshire know that they typically do different type of investments. This is not a typical deal for them. But from our perspective, to have their endorsement for something that we're trying to build, I think in particular, they're very long-term investors. And what we are trying to build is something that will unfold in a big way over the long term. So that's something that we're pretty excited about. They're also investors who have deep knowledge in financial services. And as we embark on the next phase of our journey, where we would be adding more and more financial services such as lending, wealth management, insurance, I think there's a lot that we can learn from their advice and counsel.
Right. Madhur, we heard out Vijay Shekhar just a while back, and he spoke about how Paytm's ability to build payments as a moat and build on that to offer a wide range of services could have perhaps been an attraction as far as Berkshire Hathaway is concerned. But what key synergies do you see between Berkshire and Paytm? What sort of areas can they potentially help you in now that Todd Combs is also on the Paytm board?
I think, as I said, they're very seasoned folks. They're very well networked. They're very experienced. They're also very smart people. So I think we just look to tap into their network as well as their knowledge, and really at the first step be our guide and mentors, right? Because a lot of that, what we are trying to do, we have what we think are some great ideas and also some execution capability and operational capability in India, as well as big plans for how transformational financial services and digital payments can be for the country, right? So the first step, I think it would be useful for us to get guidance from people who have seen different industries before, who have a great network of people who they can introduce us to, and really be that sort of advisor to us. I think as we close the transaction and then we start getting into the details of what kind of synergies we could have with either with them or with the companies that they've invested in, I'm sure there are a lot of things that will turn up just given the path that we are following.
Right. Finally, Madhur, before we let you go, Berkshire has been very focused as a conglomerate, as an investor on cash flow profitability. So, does this place any constraints on Paytm in terms of meeting certain targets, say in the next 12 months, 18 months? Does it alter your financial goals now that you have Berkshire Hathaway on the board?
Listen, I think nothing changes from that perspective. I think Vijay has said very publicly, and so have I in the past, that our mission is to bring our services to 500 million Indians, and there's a huge amount of investment that we're going to make that happen. That's the same story that we say in public. That's the same story that we tell our board and our management team, and that's the same story that we tell our potential investors. So that is exactly what we have communicated to everyone who is a stakeholder or potential stakeholder in our company. So I think from the perspective of, if your question is that, does the direction of the company change, and would we stop doing investments, and would we suddenly become much more profit focused as opposed to growth and traction focused? I don't think that is going to change. I think we'll continue to follow the journey, and that's the journey that they have bought into. And I don't expect that they would come and tell us to dramatically change the direction in which we are going.
Thanks so much, Madhur, for joining us. And on that note, this brings us to the end of a very special show this evening on Warren Buffett's bet on Paytm. We got you the top voices, but there is another anniversary that we are celebrating at ET Now. It's 1 year of ET Now's flagship show, India Development Debate, a clutter-breaking show away from the cacophony that we've seen on debates to set down meaningful conversations and agenda for a developing India, from politics to economics to societal issues. IDD marks 1 year, and stay tuned to special programming that we will be getting you throughout the evening. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned to the channel for more news and updates.